A lot of people are talking about electric vehicles and their future in the trucking industry. But where do they stand today? What are the benefits and drawbacks of electric vehicles? What industries should consider adding them to their fleet, and in what capacity? Well, there's a lot to take into consideration. So today, let's break it down and take an honest look at electric semi-trucks. The power and capabilities of electric vehicles will obviously change based on the model and manufacturer, but to give us a decent idea, let's compare the International EMV, an electric vehicle, to the International MV, its diesel engine counterpart. As you can see, after making some conversions, the towing capacity, engine horsepower, axle capacity, and so on are all relatively similar. You're getting the same amount of power from an electric semi-truck as you are a diesel one. So if that's similar, what are the key differences? Well, let's look at the pros and cons. The actual cost per kilometer or mile is still difficult to nail down definitively since the EMV is so new, and experts have been debating for a while just how much cheaper it is to fuel an electric vehicle when compared to a diesel or gas-powered one. However, the overwhelming majority of studies point to electric vehicles saving you money on fuel costs in some capacity. Take this study done by the Washington Post. They compared the fuel costs of electric vehicles to gas-powered vehicles in every U.S. state. On the low end, vehicles were saving a few bucks per tank, but on the high end, vehicles were saving up to $80 per tank. Now, if you're running a fleet of electric vehicles and need to invest in dedicated charging stations, this would increase the upfront costs. But from purely a fuel standpoint, it's pretty much guaranteed you can drive for less with electric vehicles than traditional ones. At Maxim, we've actually ran this test before, and you can check it out in the link in the description. But the noise an electric semi-truck's battery produces is next to nothing. So the question is, why is this such a great feature? Well, apart from it being really cool that something so big can produce so little noise, it has quite a bit of practical application as well. When a diesel engine is running, particularly when you have multiple trucks running at once, it can become really difficult for workers to hear each other on the job site. However, that problem goes away completely when your engine makes no noise. For example, here is a fully electric truck with a truck body provided by Commercial Truck Equipment. As you're about to see, I can call out to the people below me and they can hear me with ease.
All right, you can bring me down whenever. And it's crystal clear. There's absolutely no falter in communication.
The more time your vehicles spend in the shop, the less revenue you can generate. So it's imperative you get your vehicles back on the road as soon as possible. As you can see here, there's less points to service on an electric vehicle, such as the EMV, compared to its diesel engine counterpart. And some of these points are even easier to service.
Benefits of maintaining an EV or the EMV would be, I guess you've got no oil changes, no fuel systems, and reduced brake wear.
That being said, not everything is simpler, and a big upfront cost that comes with servicing electric vehicles is having to train your technicians to deal with the new configurations. And because you're dealing with a much more powerful battery, extra precautions need to be taken. However, once that bumpy road is cleared, ease of service and maintenance is relatively the same and sometimes much easier and more efficient. Next, let's talk about inside the cab and using an all-electric body. When everything is electric, it becomes a lot easier to set up the truck the way you want. You can customize your dash to show the features that are important to you and your industry, get diagnostic reports sent directly to your phone regarding any issues with your vehicle, and a whole lot more. Electric trucks and bodies also tend to come with additional features that are much more difficult to implement on traditional trucks. For example, you can see this electric bucket truck has a large LED battery display on the body. Why is this useful? Well, when you're up in your buckets, you can look down and see exactly how much battery life you have left, giving you a better idea of how much more work you can accomplish before packing it in for the day, saving you time and hassle. So, for a few reasons, electric vehicles as they currently stand are designed to be in-city vehicles. First off, there's regenerative braking. Now, regenerative braking isn't a brand new feature. On diesel vehicles, it just helps keep your battery charged. However, for electric vehicles, where your battery also functions as your engine, this means that electric vehicles can actually drive farther in-city where there's more braking than on the highway or open road where braking is far less frequent. Secondly, as it currently stands, there isn't a ton of infrastructure to support electric vehicles, such as charging stations. On top of that, a fully charged battery tends to last you one working day. So taking that into account, along with the fact extreme cold and extreme heat can cause any battery's life to fluctuate, electric vehicles won't be the ones you use to transport goods across the country or drive out to a remote town 4 hours outside the city limits to do some maintenance work. However, that doesn't mean electric vehicles don't have their place, as one of our electric vehicle experts explains.
This vehicle is best equipped to operate within the city limits in vocations like utility, pickup and delivery, or anything else that would require the vehicle not to go beyond the 135-mile range that this vehicle is equipped to do.
Electric semi-trucks tend to be more expensive up front. When including an electric body and infrastructure, they can be north of 100 to 200 grand more than their diesel engine counterparts. That may seem like a lot, and it is. But remember, electric vehicles can also end up saving companies money in the long run. For starters, governments across the world are offering subsidies to companies who purchase electric vehicles. For example, in Canada, you can receive a $100,000 grant when purchasing one. On top of this, charging an electric vehicle is cheaper than filling it up with diesel. So depending on how often you use your vehicles, you can end up saving thousands to tens of thousands of dollars per year on diesel alone. So in short, it's a bigger upfront investment. But so long as you take care of your vehicles, it can end up saving you money in the long run. So, do electric vehicles have their place? Absolutely. So long as you use them in city, electric vehicles such as the International EMV have more than enough power to get the job done and can include tons of incredible features that make your workday easier and more efficient. For more information or to order one today, visit maximinc.com or call 188-242-6126.